Hello, my name is Minecraft Phenom 08, and this is episode 33 of my 1 Billion Iron Ingot Challenge in Minecraft 1.16. In today's episode, I'm actually just going to review the progress that I've made in my series so far and show off what I have built. So let's get started. So first off, I have not been doing a very good job of keeping you guys posted about how many iron ingots I have. Right now, I currently have 244 million iron ingots, but as you can see, it is rapidly increasing. Now, I am getting over 1,000 iron ingots for every 5 to 10 seconds maybe. I haven't actually timed it recently, but I know I was getting over 1,000 iron ingots a little while back, every 10 seconds. It was actually a little under 10 seconds, but that is how that is going so far. So let's go ahead and show off how I'm getting all that iron, all those iron ingots. So first off, most of my energy generation is actually coming from this fusion reactor from the mod mechanism right here. And I built this in the last couple of episodes. It is water cooled at this point, and it is providing about 3.79 million force energy per tick. Now, most of that comes from the turbine over here, but some of it is generated also by the reactor itself. So yeah, that is how I'm getting pretty much all of my energy. So let's take a look at how that energy is actually making resources, because I'm actually using a lot of the tier 8 void miners from the mod environmental tech. So here is my area to where I have all of my void ore miners set up, or my void miner set up. And I actually have 36 of them fully operational at this point in this area. So last time I showed this area, I think I had like 1 or 2 maybe. I actually think it was 1, because I think I showed the building of the first tier 8 of these. But at this point, I actually have 36 of them. Now, 34 of them are dedicated to making the basically iron ore and other metallic ores. And they have this metallic ore miner in there as their flash memory here. Now, 2 of the other ones, one of them is gemstones, so it gets things like diamonds and emeralds and things like that. And then there's another one that is mining essentially so that I can get fluorite. And I was using that fluorite to actually help in the production of fission fuel for my fission reactor. So I think also this right here, this tower is actually providing some power. Not a whole lot comparatively to that fusion reactor there, but I do have a tower here with a reactor from the mod, and I'm gonna mess this up. I was gonna say bigger reactors. Oh, it is bigger reactors. Basically an extension of the old mod big reactors, and I have 8 turbines off of that one reactor. So that is cool. That's getting me some power. Like I said, not nearly as much as that right there. Now, this whole system, basically my whole base is tied together with my applied energistic system, which you can kind of see the brains of down here in the basement of my base. And the basement of my base is fairly well organized here. It doesn't look great, but it is fairly well organized. And obviously this is the brain, the ME controller, as well as basically it connects all of my different systems to my applied energistic system, which stores and then moves items around as necessary. So that is my main base, and next let's take a look at my old base to see where I started. So here is my old base. This is the main building right here, but I have another couple of buildings. So I've actually updated the mod environmental tech and environmental core, and I actually haven't messed with this void ore miner since I've updated it, and that's why these blocks right here, some of them are just black. And what you can do is once you actually update this mod, you just pick them up and put the blocks back down, and they should function as necessary. But let's take a look at the rest of my old base here. I have a mob spawner set up to spawn endermen with a spawner right there activated with redstone. So that has worked fairly well. In the past, I actually had a sheep farm here. So the sheep actually either died or got killed or escaped through the holes in the fence. I'm guessing that maybe lightning hit the fence and caused it to burn, and that's why the sheep are gone. So over here, I actually had my system to automatically produce processors from the mod Applied Energistics. And I've actually updated this system since I actually showed it on camera. Mainly, I just set up pipes from these output chests for each of the individual components. and set those pipes to come up here to this right here, this modular storage unit, and that modular storage unit feeds into the final inscriber, which would actually make the different circuits here, not the circuits, but the actual processors themselves from the circuits. So this is actually a system I still use once in a while, and it's powered with this reactor from Bigger Reactors. And here is how I actually got my original, or basically my start in automation during the series. I have this ore laser base here, and it gets me stuff. Currently it's not powered, so it's not getting me anything, but it did pretty much jumpstart the series once I got that going. And here was my original base and pretty much all of the stuff. I did have a rudimentary ME system right here, and I did have some automatic ore processing going on from that. And yeah, these are the basic machines that I had down. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all to see here. So next, let's take a look at where I'm actually processing all my iron ore. So this is the area that I actually process my iron ore, and there are 3 buildings. There is my old iron ore processing facility, there is my fission reactor building, and then my new iron ore processing facility over there. So let's actually take a look at this building, because this building actually took a couple of episodes to build, and unfortunately I pretty much mothballed it at this point, because it wasn't as productive as I hoped. It wasn't as fast as I needed it to be honest. So this facility actually is able to produce 5 iron ingots for every iron ore that it is fed. However, the downfalls are that it is A, very, very slow, and B, it requires a lot of sulfur ore or sulfur, and that basically ate into the resources that I could be using to produce iron ore. So that was kind of unacceptable, unfortunately. So that is kind of why I mothballed this facility. It is pretty much it's pretty amazing facility. The thing is, it wasn't very fast at producing iron ingots. It could produce maybe a million iron ingots per real-time day, which unfortunately was just not enough for my needs. So this building right here, this is my fission reactor building, and I have a very large fission reactor here. I want to say it's something like 17 by 17 by 17, but I could be wrong about that. But let's take a look at the rest of the facility, because it's pretty nifty. So right here, I actually have a redstone system set up to this induction matrix, and this induction matrix is able to turn this reactor on and off. However, I also have manual switches to turn the reactor off, and I actually do have it off now that I have my fusion reactor going. This fission reactor was kind of not super necessary, but it did help me out quite a bit for a while. So in this room, this is where I produce the fuel for the fission reactor. In this room right here, this is where the waste goes. And actually, most of my, or pretty much all of my waste barrels that I have in this facility are pretty much full. And there are many levels of these barrels here. So let's just go down. I want to say there's something like 7 levels. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's actually 8 levels. There's 7 full levels. And then this first level right here is actually a really small level. So I do have a lot of nuclear waste laying around. That would be bad if someone decided to get in there and start deleting them or destroying those barrels. But yeah, this is the turbine that I have built to process the steam rather into energy. And yeah, the energy was fed into this induction matrix right here, which was then able to tell the reactor when to turn on and off as necessary. So that was pretty cool. So unfortunately, like I said, this reactor is also off right now because I don't super need the energy because I have the fusion reactor. So yeah, this was kind of a stepping stone to that fusion reactor. So this facility is actually kind of the start of the series so far, because this facility has produced most of my iron ingots that I have right now. So let's take a look at what's going on at this facility. So first off, the iron ore is transported into ultimate purifying factories, which is combined with oxygen to make iron clumps. And each iron ore produces 3 iron clumps. And those clumps are eventually processed into iron ingots, each one of them. But first, they have to go to ultimate crushing factories, where they are crushed into dirty iron dust. That dirty iron dust is enriched into iron dust, and that iron dust is smelted using ultimate smelting factories. And all of those iron ingots come to the Supreme Black Hole unit. As you can see, this particular Supreme Black Hole unit has 206 million iron ingots. So basically, this facility has processed 206 million of my 244 million iron ingots that I have currently. So there is some stuff going on in the basement, so let's take a look at that because that's pretty important as well. Because down here I have my oxygen production for my facility upstairs. And yeah, this produces a lot of oxygen, but the thing is, these things are super power hungry. So these electrolytic separators are all equipped with the full gamut of energy and speed upgrades. However, even with that said, they can use 40,000 forge energy per tick, and that is each one of them. There are a lot of them down here. I'm not sure how many there are. I do have 6 of them inactive because I cannot actually produce enough water to feed all of them. So I essentially cut off my ultimate mechanical pipe to these 6. So they're not functioning, but the rest of them are able to function at least some of the time. And when they are, they produce, or they consume rather, 40,000 forge energy per tick per electrolytic separator. So yeah, this facility uses a lot of power. And over there I had a system to get the HDPE sheets. I believe that's what they're called. Basically for the mod mechanism. So I think that is a good wrapping up point for today. I know that a lot of you have seen a lot of the stuff that I built, but I'm sure that not very many people have actually watched the entire series. So that's kind of what I have going on. Both this base right here and the first base, my main base that I showed off in this episode, are connected through one ME system. So all of the items here are accessible with the ME system. So this Supreme Black Hole unit over here, for example, is hooked up to my ME system with a storage bus. And my ME system actually exports the iron ingots into all of these ultimate purifying factories through these export buses right here. So yeah, if you enjoyed today's episode, definitely feel free to drop a like down below. And if you enjoy watching large-scale automation type stuff, that's kind of what I do, especially in a series like this. Definitely consider subscribing to my channel if that is the case. Anyways, signing off, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and I will see you next time.